Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and another video on the Escort RS Turbo. In today's video we're going to do something slightly different as it's such a lovely day outside. We've moved into the garden. So what we're going to do today is we're going to restore the fuel cradle, the fuel pump cradle for the Escort. If you've seen the early part of videos in the series on the RS Turbo, is that I bought this off of eBay. It's complete, but it needs restoring, and if you can see some slight rust hole here, all the all the cotton reels are all perished and all the bolts are all stuck, so we drill these out and replace them. I do have some new cotton reels, bushes already, and we've got some new rubbers that go between the cradle and the body of the car, but they've been 3D printed, so they're not genuine, but I'm sure they'll be fine. So in today's video, we're gonna make I've already made the piece. Unfortunately, I did it off camera, but I've already made it, so what we'd end up doing is we'd end up cutting it out and letting that piece in. And then what we do is we'll drill out these fixings that have snapped off, and we'll shot blast it, and we'll have a go at powder coating. That's actually something I've never done before. So I've already made a powder coating gun. I haven't bought one, I've made one. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, if it's no good, I'll have to go out and buy one. But I do like to make things rather than buy it if I can. Just help save the old pennies, so I can put it towards doing the cars. So let's get that cut out and weld her out and get it welded up. Right, what I'm going to do, going to get this scribed around here, and then we get that cut out. We grind it up. It's already, I did start trying to shot blast it, but I think we get this on and then we do the whole thing together, then that way it will blend in better. So we get this marked out and cut out, and then we get the welder out, tack this on. Right, so we've just got this piece cut out now. And this is the new piece to be let in. Oh, so that will literally get tacked in there. So what we're doing now is I just get the power file out, and we give this a clean up, and we clean up the underside, just deburr everything, and then we get the welder out and we tack this in place, and then we will carry on with welding it up. And yes, hopefully that should fix that problem. Right, now we've got this all cleaned up. This fits quite nicely in the cutouts. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of tacks in, make sure it's all flushed up, and then we start building the tacks to make it a continuous weld. So let's crack on with that. So we've got the piece welded on now. I just literally like spot welded it all the way around, let it cool off a little bit until it was all like continuously welded. So what I've done now is I've put the old grinding disc in. I'm just going to tickle the tops of all these welds first and try not to touch the metal either side. I don't want to thin anything out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to grind these off, and then we'll change over to either a flappy wheel or potentially the power file, because it's quite small in there. So let's carry on with that. There you go guys, that's that piece welded on. It's taking a relatively good shape of the original one, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the same with just the back here. The back's, it's got plenty of it's got some penetration there, but I'd like to just sort of clean that up so it, when you look underneath the car, it looks like one piece of metal, not a little piece joined on like that. So what I'm going to do is I'll do the same with the back, and then we'll move on to getting this rest of this all cleaned up and these bits cut off. I think what I'm going to do is cut these captive nuts off and just slip probably a stainless steel nut and bolt through it, just to that will hold that all together. So I'll crack on with that and then I'll cut back in. Okay, so there we go guys, I found the old piece I cut out. So that's the bit we cut out. That's nicely welded in. Did the same to the back. So I'm hoping by the time it's blasted, you won't see that's been repaired. So as I said earlier, we'll move on to getting these bolts cut off. The same with the cotton wheels on those bits. And we'll get it blasted and hopefully powder coated. Right, we're going to get these cut off now. Okay, so we've now got the nuts cut off, and I've used the old power file to just clean them up. But also I did stick the grinder with the conditioning wheel on over them first, just to try and take some of the rubbish off them before we put them in the blaster. So I'm hoping with the blaster we're going to blend some of this metal in so it all sort of blends, so you can't see that that's a new piece welded onto that piece. So we're at the bottom of the garage, and I've got my it's only a small blast tank, but it does the job. And there's the oven that I picked up off a marketplace for £10. Not actually used it yet. I've not actually tried any powder coating, so you guys will be witnessing the results firsthand. See whether my homemade gun works or it's a foul and I have to go and spend a couple of £100 on a new powder coating gun. But we will see. So let's get these parts into the sandblaster and get them cleaned up. I will try and stick the camera on the top there, whether you'll be able to see anything. Oh, you might be able to see, might be able to record it while I'm doing it. So I'll get the parts in there and we'll see if we can record. Right, so we've got these bits blasted, they're out of the blaster now. I did try my best to record as much of it as I could, but it was getting quite dusty in there. But they've, I probably shouldn't be touching them, but they've come up quite well, to be honest. This is my first go at using the blaster. So I've managed to rig this up in the garage. I've got it hanging on a bit of copper pipe and some earth cable out of a bit of twin earth that you use in your house. I stripped it down, and I'm hoping by connecting the negative of the power there and the positive to the homemade gun that I've made, we should be able to get a bit of a current going around, and it should attract the powder to the bracket. So I'll just swing around and I'll show you the gun that I've actually made. So this is the powder coating gun. It's just made out of like an air blower. It's got a regulator on it. It's got the air connected to it. A plastic jar. As you can see, the plastic pipe comes out the gun, round, and then into the powder coat, into the powder, and it blows back up through the gun, and then the positive is connected to the copper pipe, the copper like wire that's inside, and that basically conducts the energy into the powder, and hopefully sticks to the item. So this is the first time I've actually had a go at using this powder coating gun. So you'll be experiencing it with me to see whether it's going to work or not. So let's get the camera on the stand and we'll give it a go. Right, so the power is on. So let's sticking to it. I think so. I think it's sticking to it. Yeah, that seems to be working quite well. Not too mad. Oh. Let me just go get a glove, because that's just giving me a bit of a shock. Hang on a minute. I'm back with a glove, so this time hopefully it won't give me an electric shock. Whoa, that. You've always got to make sure you don't touch the positive and the negative, otherwise you're going to get a crack. But it seems to be working quite well. But of course we'll be able to tell once it's been in the oven whether it's really worked. I think the old pressure seems to be alright. Swing that back around there again. So as I said, this is the very first time I've ever done any powder coating. So if this works, we'll be doing a load more for the car. I think, I don't want to touch it because it will knock the powder off. Right, let's call that it. Let's go switch the power off, and then we'll try and get it down into the oven and get it cooked. Right, let's go sit you up down the other end of the garage. Right, so there's the panel. The cradle, should I say, and then what we do is we get it hooked on the oven tray without trying to knock any of the paint off, and then we get it slipped in the oven. I think it's on at about 170, 180 degrees, so we get that whacked in for about 20 minutes and we'll see how well that comes out. But yeah, the oven was a tenner off Marketplace, so oh, I don't think we'll be using this. Oh, I think I need to bring it up a little bit. I don't want it resting on the floor. Will that come up anymore? Yep. Alright, let's see if that works. Just touching the floor, but hopefully it'll be alright. I mean, as I say, it's the first time I've ever tried doing any powder coating. So what we do is we'll leave this for about 20 odd minutes, and we'll come back and check it, and then in the meantime I'll start powder coating the other bits, and then we can check the results and everything at the end. Right, so just while that bit's in the oven, we'll crack on and get these other bits powder coated. Okay, so the other 3 parts of that bracket have just gone in the oven, so we'll leave them another 25 minutes. But I've just taken the the cradle, the first one we did out the oven, and it's just cooling. There you go, that's the other one. But you can see where it touched the base of the oven. It knocked the powder off. But other than that, it's still a bit warm. It's actually come out not too bad. So for the first ever attempt at powder coating, I'm pretty pleased with that. So we wait for the other 3 bits to come out, we'll let them cool, and we'll just have a look over them and see if any others want doing, but hopefully they'll be fine. We may end up just redoing that one, but we will check when they come out. Just in case any of you are interested in making yourself a powder coating gun, this is basically it. There's plenty of YouTube videos on how to make them. You just need a power supply, this circuit board, this little gadget that, I don't know what it does, it just, I think it basically turns the amperage down or what, I'm not too sure basically. There's plenty of videos out there that you can watch, but yeah, I just made it out of a Quality Street wrapper, put an on-off switch on it, and these 2 wires one connects to the tube that the parts are hanging on, and the live goes to the gun, which I've got some nice long cables on it. So basically the live goes to the gun like I said earlier, and that goes to there, and you just use a bit of regulated air so it's not firing the dust straight out. But it's a little bit messy, but it's not as messy as I thought it was. So I'll get this swept up, and in that time the other bit should be cooked. So we'll check them once it's all done. But that basically is it, and I would probably say the whole thing cost me less than £30 to make. I mean, if you consider the cost of a powder coating gun's probably a good couple of £100, and the powder I just got off of eBay, I think the powder was about a tenner or something like that. But yeah, we go over the results once it's all done. Okay, so everything's out of the oven and they're all cool now. They're fine to touch. Do you know what? The results are actually quite good considering it was a homemade powder coating system. I must say that I did do this bracket again because obviously we had a bit of paint come off when that was put in the oven. It touched the base of the oven and knocked the paint off. So we did that again, but I also did everything else twice because apparently you can re-powder coat over the top of powder coat, And to be honest, I think it's giving it a better coating. It's almost like a thicker coating, obviously with the two goes at powder coating. So I'll just show you some of the results. Obviously the pitting is you're never going to get rid of the pitting because these were quite rusty. But to be honest, I think everything's come up okay. I mean, it's going to be under the car, so you're only going to see it when it goes in for MOT and stuff, but it looks a little bit dry on the outside of the fuel pump bracket. But to be honest, I'm actually quite pleased with it. Even this bracket where I cut this off and welded that new section in, I don't think once it's fitted, I don't think you're really going to notice it's had a new bit. Again, there's a little bit of pitting there, but as I say, you're never going to get rid of that because these were quite rusty parts. So I think now what we'll do is we'll get some new stainless nuts and bolts and we'll get this all back together. So I'll just go grab some fixings. So I've got the box that I've got of stainless steel fixings, and this is a box of 500 piece nuts, bolts and washers, and this comes from a company called Screwfix, and you've literally everything's all set out in individual packets, and it makes it nice and easy to sort the nuts and bolts out. And again, they are grade A2 stainless, so they shouldn't rust. So let's get rid of that. I managed to sort out what I needed to bolt this back together again. I think they're probably an M6, and where we had captive or welded on nuts on the top of this, all I'm going to do is put a stainless steel nut and bolt, but with a nylock nut on the top, and hopefully that will be okay. But I think for now what we'll do is we'll just put everything back together, ready for, we'll just probably put them back into storage because we're not quite ready to put it back on the car just yet. But it will go well with the fuel tank, because the fuel tank is actually a new fuel tank on the Escort. It was already on the car when we bought it. If you've seen my first video, you'll probably see that, because I did a little walk around the car, and just did a little bit of an in-depth detail of the car, of its condition, and everything else. But if you're new to the channel, do please go back and watch some of the earlier videos. Yeah, and obviously that way you'll be able to catch up with what's been happening with the Escort. Oh. But yeah, it's coming on nicely. I mean, this is just a little bit of an interim video between like doing the body work, because I can't always get the time to do the welding work. It just takes it takes a bit longer, obviously, with work and everything else, so I've got to fit it around that, and it being the summer holidays, the kids are off, so it's not always easy to get that time. But we will get back on to doing the wheel arch and getting that finished off. So just thought it'd be nice for you guys to see something a bit different. So I'll tell you what we need to do. Put the cotton reels on. Where have I put them? Hang on a second. Right, nearly forgotten. So these I've managed to get off of eBay. They're not they're not like genuine Ford parts. They're somebody makes these and sells them on eBay, because you can't get these from Ford anymore. Let's put that away. What that? It's just a threaded piece of rubber or threaded on both ends, but it's been mounted to the rubber, so it just absorbs the vibration of the fuel pump, so it doesn't vibrate through the car. The original ones were in 2 pieces, so we had to get some new. I had to get some new ones. So what I'll probably do is take this all back apart again and put these on, then put that back on. So I'll just chop these there and I'll put that, and then we get back to where we're at. So I've got that taken apart again, and we're just going to pop these what they call cotton reels. What I've been told they're called anyway, but they're probably called like anti-vibration something or other. But drop a comment if you know what the correct terminology is for these little things. So we get these popped back in. Put these nuts and washers off. We should be able to put the pump cradle back in. Yep, it's all gone back on. Just trying to see whether these fixings are stainless. I'm not sure if they are. Get that back in there. So what I might just do is just get a 10mm socket, and we get these nipped up so they're ready for when we get to put it back on the car. Right, so I'm back, 10mm socket, 10mm spanner. So hopefully we can just nip these all up. Don't go too mad with it. Put that back on the side. As I'm doing it, let's get that back up. So yeah, if you guys need any of these new like anti-vibration buffers on your fuel pumps, they're on eBay. I think I paid about just over £16 for them. So yeah, go take a look on eBay. He's not sponsored me by any way, shape or form, but I just thought they were actually the second set that I bought, because I had already bought a set of these, but with all the bits and pieces I've got lying around, and I seem to have misplaced them somewhere, so I had to buy another set to finish the video off. So that's why this one's taking a little bit longer to get back out. But yeah, we got there in the end, and you watch, now I've finished it, they turn up. So if they do turn up, I can always sell them on. But it just allows where the fuel pump sits, allows it to move without it sort of vibrating through the car. So we get this pop back onto there, and I can just show you guys the finished result. Obviously I won't do these up because these are Nylox. But when it's all ready to go back on the car, we bolt all that lot up, and then it can be fitted to the fuel pump. Fitted to the fuel tank, or underneath the fuel tank, shall I say. Let's just pop that back on. And that is the fuel pump cradle restored. There you go. It just goes to show, even though it was quite rusty and it had the hole in it, that you can make it back into a serviceable part, and it's the original part for the car, which is what I want to try and do throughout the car. Obviously, if some bits you can't get, you just have to use an aftermarket part. But yeah, so that'll be wrapped up and put into storage and ready for when we do the underside of the car and it all to go back on. So guys, that's the restoration of the fuel pump cradle done. If you liked watching the video and you want to see more bits like this done, please do like and subscribe. And also, thanks to everybody that's subscribed. We are just over 400 subscribers now, so that's great. Please do continue to hit that subscribe button. Yeah, so thanks very much, guys. It all helps build the channel. I do thoroughly enjoy making the videos for you guys to watch. So yeah, thank you very much for becoming subscribers to the channel. Now, we've just done a video on restoring the cradle, but what I have also dug out are the spot lamp brackets, which are equally in quite a bad condition. They bad condition. They are rusty. They all need blasting and powder coating again. And this is actually I found this in the car. It's actually the fixing to hold the cradle up in the spare wheel well, which needs a new bolt put in, and yeah, powder coating and stuff. So if you want to see the video of me doing that, do drop a comment, hit the like button. I know it can get a little bit repetitive of virtually seeing the same thing again, obviously powder coating and sandblasting and everything else. But if you want to see a video of these being restored and like the other brackets, do drop a comment. Or if you just sooner I did a before and after picture and dropped it into the videos where I'm doing the bodywork. So do drop a comment and I'll do it to what you guys want to see. Because equally this is about your enjoyment as well as my own. So also, I'm over on Instagram now, so do please go on over to Instagram and do follow. What I'll do is I'll try and add some short videos on there and some pictures of work that's going on in between. Just general information on the cars, days out, road trips out, or just generally just going out for a blast. I'll just be adding some pictures to that. So do please go over there, do follow me, do give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.